tried to make this video 3 times. How to choose the right size board. And now I've stuck with an 8.5 inch for most things, and I have an 8.38 that I use for more technical things. So if you've seen me do like nollie, heel flip, front tail, kick flip out, that was on an 8.38. And if you've seen me skate handrails or anything like that, that's usually gonna be on an 8.5. Now that has a lot to do with my height, also the width of my shoulders. So I found that a board that's got a wheelbase of 14.5 is like the sweet spot for me. Anything shorter than that, and I break more boards, and I also don't feel comfortable on the board. I also like my nose to be about 7 inches to 7.5, and I like the tail to be at least 6.5. So I don't like a short nose or tail. That also has to do with the fact that I am a size 12 shoe. So my feet are hanging off of the board to some degree no matter what, but I at least want my foot to fit inside of the nose without rolling over the top, and on the tail for that ollie box that I always talk about. I'm gonna recommend that most people in the range of a size 9 shoe to a size 12 shoe like me, I don't know anything about larger because I've never had a larger foot, skate something from an 8.19 up to an 8.5. I've tried 8.7 inch boards. I found that they break easier, they move slower. I sprained my ankle slightly trying to hurricane a handrail on 8.7 because turning back from the hurricane, it just turns so much slower than I'm used to, and I tried to force it out, which caused me to land on the back of the tail and sprain my ankle. Also, flip tricks don't flip as fast, and there's more surface area on the board that's not stable, so it breaks easier. So I don't recommend those large size unless you're a transition skater or a guy that doesn't flip their board very much. And for kids, I've been teaching skate lessons for about 11 years. Might actually be 12 years now. I have to check my old emails and see. But I found that a lot of people buy their children small boards, like those mini boards, and that is a big mistake because once they get past just pushing, once they're ollieing, you're gonna see their feet move off those boards. Once they're trying to turn comfortably, even for a kid, they're not able to stand wide enough and comfortable enough to turn right. So what happens is they develop bad habits on that small board, and then when you try to size them up, a big bulk of their time is spent unlearning those bad habits. I've also found that when I let kids that I'm teaching, even a 5-year-old, borrow my board, which is like usually an 8.5 or the 8.38, I'm able to teach them how to drop in, how to ollie, how to shove it, how to do little board slides on a parking block and things like that so much easier because they have the space to stand comfortably and where there's a direct connection between their shoulder movement and their bodies. So I don't recommend boards smaller for kids. If anything, you can get them an 8-inch deck. Anything smaller that I don't think makes any sense. So yeah, when you're choosing your board size, you want to consider the size of your foot, how wide your shoulders are, of course, because when you land on the bolts, right? For me, my shoulders are about 20 inches apart. So a 14.5 inch wheelbase means from the inside bolt to the inside bolt, it's about 14.5 inches. And so when you correct for the outside bolts, that's gonna get close to the 20 inches. And that means my legs can be shoulder width apart. So that means if I'm jumping down a set of stairs, I don't have to have my legs at an uncomfortable distance apart in order to land on the bolts. Because when I skated smaller boards like an 8.25 that is a shorter wheelbase, sometimes I break 8 to 10 boards in a month. And since I've just stuck to the bigger boards, that doesn't really happen. So I hope that helped you guys. Wanted to make this one short and sweet. I recommend boards between 8 and 8.5 inches, unless you're skating a lot of transition and not flipping your board, obviously. And for the little guys, don't worry about those small boards. Get them a size of wheel that can roll over cracks and little sticks on the ground because kids aren't good at identifying and going around those things and often don't have the proper reaction time to make that work. And get them a wide enough board that they can stand comfortably. And yeah, no risers or anything like that because they are shorter. So stepping up onto the board is often a problem for them, especially since kids don't tend to look at their feet as much until you tell them to, and they are able to develop that habit. So a lot of times they have a problem with pushing and they'll kick the board when they're standing back up on it. So I usually get them wheels that are like 52, 53, no risers or anything like that. And you can even get them low trucks to help them with stepping up onto the board. I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like me to cover next. Peace.